All right, hello and welcome back everyone to PSGL. We are back for round 10 of season 30, and this is the Brazilian Grand Prix here in F8. This circuit is absolutely phenomenal. That's how I describe the Interlagos circuit that has 15 turns that make up a circuit length of 4.3 kilometers. That's 2.6 miles long. To help encourage overtaking for around here, the organizers have added in 2 DRS zones to help encourage more overtakes throughout the entire Grand Prix. One down into turn 1, into the Senna S's, and then if you can't make an overtake into the first turn, you can always have a nice DRS straight down to turn 4 at Destino do Lago. Down into that really tricky turn 4. But yeah, there's a lot of places to overtake for around here, not just the DRS zones, as drivers can somehow find the courage to go side by side with their rivals into some of these very tricky corners. So with the track details aside, let's get the racing underway. You join us with around 15 minutes remaining of the qualifying session. We're just getting going as we get ready for the 10th round of Season 30 here in PSGL's F8 division. This is the PlayStation division as well. So yes, 15 drivers on the grid. We are ready to go for another round here in PSGL. Once again, it's myself, Formula Jonah, in the commentary box for F8, and I'll be bringing you the action for this division's upcoming Grand Prix here in Interlagos. Alright, so we're going to ride on board with Wegan in the Ferrari, who I do believe made his debut in the last race in the Netherlands. And if you guys did miss out on the race in the Netherlands at the Dutch Grand Prix, definitely go check that out. It was a phenomenal Grand Prix. But yeah, 6 rounds remain, guys. Just a few races to go in this phenomenal season. It truly has been absolutely incredible. A lot of drivers have scored different wins. There's been some unexpected podium sitters, and there's just been some all the way around good racing. There's been some amazing action out on track. I think we can all pick out some favorite Grand Prix, but I gotta say, every single racing there has just been absolutely phenomenal action week in, week out. So what can we talk about as we approach the final few races of the season in Season 30? Well, we can definitely talk about that championship. We'll get into all these statistics and all the exact points stats between everyone in just a bit. But what I can tell you is that this championship is going to come down to the wire. Stick around for the rest of the F8 races. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal, as we see Hyped going fastest overall with a 107.3. That is the benchmark lap time that everyone will be chasing out there. Ruben, his teammate, on a lap right now. Let's see what Ruben can do as he comes down to the final heavy braking zone. Turn 12 as it is, and it looks like also Wegan did have an invalidation. That's why we moved to Ruben, as now goes Robin West on to P1 with a 106.9. Great to see that, as Ruben's going to come across the lap time. Let's see what he's going to put. It is a 106.991, a few 100ths of a second off of the Aston Martin driver. So yeah, a few times coming in, we're going to see more drivers setting some better lap times, and a great thing to talk about as well, and a crucial thing to talk about in this upcoming Grand Prix is the strategy. Now, this track is pretty good in terms of tire degradation. It actually doesn't do too much degradation on the tires, which is quite surprising. As the softs, you can take them for, I'd say, probably around 13, maybe 14 laps. It depends, of course, on your setup as well, and of course your strategy in the race itself. Are you going to be pushing a lot? Are you going to be conserving those tires a lot? It depends on kind of your driving style. But yeah, you can take the softs for a long time. Same with the mediums as well. So yeah, expect drivers going long on the tires. And usually in other circuits like Shanghai or Baku, we see drivers pitting quite early onto a soft compound tires. And that's why this track is quite interesting as well, because the degradation isn't as high as other circuits, like I did mention. So yeah, we have a few drivers on lap times. We're going to see the track starting to warm up a little bit more. We're going to be seeing a few drivers on the mediums as well. I do believe Jarno set a 107.7. He's the only driver so far to pit to set a lap time on the medium compound tires. He's going to be flying out there. I'm sure of it. I wonder if he's going to go out again on the softs or stay on those mediums. Either way could work out, as I do believe we had another driver coming across the line. I do believe that is that was Nick Kenshin in the second Alpine. He went P7. Yeah, a few drivers on the mediums. Luca, Clem, both Mercedes on the medium compound tires. Francie in the pit lane. as Luca just went ninth with a 107.92 tenths off of Jarno's lap time. So only the McLarens and the Mercedes have medium compound tires right now, which is a little surprising, but to be honest, it's okay as well, as drivers will be looking to qualify as high as possible, and they understand that the softs go for a ways for around here, so I'm sure they'll be qualifying on that. Now, I quickly want to mention to all you viewers watching right now, if you are new to the PSGL channel, please make sure to subscribe to see more content on F8 and also all the other divisions that the league has. Of course, there's the PlayStation divisions, but there's also the PC divisions as well. Both divisions and both consoles are just absolutely phenomenal to watch. I love watching every single one of the divisions, as it's just truly incredible. This league is one of the best leagues out there, I gotta say. Also, if you're enjoying the commentary so far, smash the like button as well. That would be really nice, to help me out and get my name out there as well, so that'd be great. So we have around 10 minutes remaining, 11 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. So we're just waiting for a few drivers to kind of come into the pit lane. They're gonna be looking at all that data, and then they're going to go out again as Aussie goes quickest overall. And the AlphaTauri, 106.815 is his time, and he is now the leader of this leaderboard here. But I doubt that will be the quickest lap time, as a few drivers mentioned that they were setting 106s, like 106.4s in time trial. So expect a few more faster lap times, but who knows? Maybe this will be the pole position lap time. Either way, these drivers are putting in some phenomenal laps out there already as we enter about the 10-minute mark. Alrighty, so Brazil Virtual Races has hosted so many different Grand Prix in the past. PSGL has hosted many different races in the Brazilian Grand Prix. There has been some classics in many different seasons. Of course, we're on season 30, so you can expect a few classic races in PSGL's racing history. But I expect a good race here today in Brazil, in Interlagos. I think a lot of drivers really, really like the circuit. We talked to a few just a few days ago when the last race in Netherlands happened, and they were expecting a great race and they were looking forward to it as well. Alrighty, and there goes the two Mercedes drivers. That is Luca and Clem, both drivers going out, and I think that is on the soft compound tires. So they're going to be looking to get a better lap in. Slash in the Williams, let's talk about him, because this is a spoiler for all you viewers that did miss out on the Netherlands race, but he did win that race in, I do believe it was round 9. Slash was the race winner, his first race victory of the season. So he's coming into Brazil a little bit more confident, I'd say, and he's now got that first win under his belt, and so he's going to be very happy with getting that one, and maybe looking for more, maybe looking for a second race victory here today in Brazil. And he's actually going to be setting a lap time on the medium compound tire. So let's take an onboard with the Williams driver and the last race winner of F8 as he comes down into turn 2. Oh, and he's going to get invalidation instantly as he just goes a little bit too close to the curb there. And unfortunately invalidates his lap, and that is going to be it for Slash. He hasn't even gotten to turn 4. And unfortunately, he's going to be he's gonna have to go out again, unfortunately. But he'll go out again in a few moments' time. I'm sure he's gonna take the time to cool down those tires, get ready for another lap. And he is on the mediums as well, so those tires won't degrade a lot, so that should be good. We'll catch back up with Slash in a bit and see what he can do. Ruben did go P1 overall, 106.62 tenths faster than the AlphaTauri's lap in P2, so Ruben proving to be very quick right now. He's in P1 by 2 tenths of a second, like I mentioned, and he's got 8 minutes to spare, and he could be going pretty fast. He could be going for pole position today, as Jarno now goes second fastest and goes with a 106.7, and that's a quick lap time from the McLaren driver. So just confirming what we were thinking about a little bit earlier on, that Jarno was going to go out again on the soft compound tires. He qualified on the mediums at the start, and then he decided to pit onto the soft compound tires. But Jarno, let's talk about him for a second, because the McLaren driver, it was heartbreak in the Netherlands. It was going all so well. He was leading the Grand Prix, and if I'm not mistaken, he got a drive-through penalty, and that severely hurt his race, as you can imagine. And yeah, that was hard. That was really hard for Jarno. It really affected his Grand Prix results, of course, because he did not grab the race victory. And so, yeah, so close, but not there. So in Brazil, I think he's going to have a little bit more confidence. He's going to want to come back stronger, I think, after a difficult weekend in the Netherlands. I think he'll be looking to get a good result here in Brazil, and he's already showing some great pace qualifying in P2. As LP Lothar has DNF'd from the session. I do believe that was in the pit lane as well. So he has decided to start at the back of the grid, which is quite interesting, as there goes the Ferrari of De Berg. In the Ferrari goes a 106.6, and I don't know if he is full-time. I think he's reserve, as I haven't seen his name so far, and I think Julio is actually the other Ferrari driver, and unfortunately he's not racing with us today. But yeah, De Berg fastest overall, looking really strong in that scarlet red Ferrari. And we'll see if he's going to be able to keep that time. And we're getting ever so closer to what I was saying before, where drivers were possibly going into the 106.4s. Currently, the fastest lap time is a 106.6, so just 0.2 off of that that prediction there. So we could see drivers going faster. We don't know exactly, though. As Aussie now goes P3, does improve on his position and time as well. By just a few 100ths of a second, he goes faster than Jarno. Also, Robin, he's in P5, looking for a great result in today's race. He's gotten a few podiums this season so far, looking possibly for another one. Could he be grabbing another podium today? We will find out. Going back to Slash, he has invalidated the second attempt of that lap. So it's not gone well for Slash so far, and Williams have not had the best of starts to a Grand Prix. They had a great race in the Netherlands, of course, Slash winning that one, and LP Lothar taking P4, if I'm not mistaken, at the flag. And yeah, Williams had a great day, but starting off here in Brazil, it's not looking the greatest, as LP Lothar is unfortunately out of the session already. He hasn't set a lap time, and Slash down in P11, unable to set a lap time currently, but he's going to have some time to pit onto possibly the soft compound tires and go out again, try and get a better lap time, and I'm sure he will be able to if he goes onto the soft compound tires. It depends on what he's going to be doing. He might go out again on the mediums, but that would be forcing more degradation on those tires, which is, of course, not good. So Chris Howlett on a lap as well. Keep an eye on the Haas driver. He has currently got a 107.2. He could be going fastest overall. Nice turn 1 and 2. That was really good by the Haas driver. Coming down the Reto Pasta there into turn 4. Descendo do Lago, braking a little bit after the 100-meter mark, maybe at the 50-meter mark. Depends, of course, on your brake bias as we come down into that really, really narrow straight. Coming down to turn 5 and turn 6 up the hill, and straight into a heavy braking zone, the heaviest braking zone on the track, to be honest. As we come down into another traction zone, you don't want to put on the power too much as you come out of turn 9, down into turn 10. That's where Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton had contact in 2020. As Chris is going to round turn 11 now, flat out through here. Don't go too wide, you can go off the track and, of course, ruin your lap time through the final heavy braking zone, turn 12, that is, as you're going to want to shift up as much as possible. Coming through those turns, flat out through all these turns to the line. Chris, let's see what he can do. He's going to use all the space he can as he comes to the line. Now it is P8 with a good enough lap time with a 107.1. And that was a good lap time from Chris. I gotta say, it's not going to put him up into the top 6, though, as he's actually going to be in P9. I'm sure he would have been, he would have liked to go a little faster there, but I'm sure he's going to be happy with P9 for now. And of course, whoever qualifies in P11 will be able to start whatever tire they choose. But I doubt that'll be Slash, as he's going out for another lap, and I'm sure he's going to be wanting to improve on his current lap time, as he's going to go very wide there, which is very surprising, as it looks like Jarno just went P3 in the McLaren, a 106.7. That is his current lap time, so great to see that as well from the McLaren driver. Oh, and Slash invalidates. He goes wide again. It has really not been the day for Slash. So while it was celebrations in Zandvoort, it is not celebrations so far here in Interlagos, as Slash has invalidated another lap today. And he might be a little frustrated with that one. He's going to have some time to go out again, but not a great start to his current run. So he's going to have to cool down those tires and go for another lap, which will not help his tires, but he's got to get a lap in here if he's going to be able to qualify up into where the position where he's wanting to be. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to qualify maybe up into the top 5. I'm sure he's going to be aiming for something like that. We'll see what he can do. We're actually going to ride on board with the Williams driver as he's going to go for another attempt here. Hopefully this all goes well for the Zandvoort winner. As just 2 minutes remain in the session, and something I quickly want to mention as well to all your viewers watching right now, please make sure if you are interested in maybe asking some questions, if you have any predictions for the upcoming Grand Prix, please let me know in the comments below. I'll try and respond to as many as I can, and I'll try and do that. So definitely comment down below if you have any questions for this upcoming Grand Prix. But Slash aces turn 2, really nice through there as he comes down into Destino del Lago. Turn 4 this is. So let's see how this is going to be. Very nice. Gets a little close to the entrance of turn 4, but it's looking pretty good for Slash as he comes up the hill into a very difficult, heavy braking zone. Turn 8 this is. And then to that traction zone as well. Turn 9. Slash looking pretty fast. Aussie goes fastest overall. A 106.5 now. He's looking really quick. Can anyone... and Slash gets too much on the power there. Gets too much on the power, and you can start to see a little bit of raindrops as well. Could that be causing issues for drivers out there? But my question was, could anyone stop Aussie from taking pole position here today in Brazil? Slash is coming to the line now. That mistake might have hurt his lap, and he's coming into the pit lane. He is coming into the pit lane. Slash is out of qualifying. That is it for Slash. He's going to be qualifying P11 at best. Francie to the line now. What can he do? It is P11 for the McLaren drivers. De Burger now goes P1 for Ferrari. A 106.5 now. 106.52 by just a few 100ths of a second. He takes over as race the pole position leader, as De Burger puts it on the fastest lap of the race. What an absolutely phenomenal lap time from De Burg in the Ferrari. And this would be a great to start off his Brazilian Grand Prix on pole position. He's currently got provisional pole. Can anyone else take it off of him? The rain has hit quite hard, so I don't think they will be able to improve. Aussie's backed off his lap. That is it for him. And I think that concludes qualifying here today in Interlagos. De Burg on pole position for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Aussie P2 with Ruben, the championship contender, in P3. But wow, what an absolutely phenomenal qualifying. It was close between first and second. Both drivers with a 106.5, the 100ths of a second separating the two drivers there. That is the difference between first and second position here in Interlagos. So it is the Ferrari on pole here in Brazil. Like I mentioned, just around 4 or 5 100ths of a second separating first and second position. Ruben a 10th behind Aussie with a 106.6. Jarno P4, congrats to him on a really good qualifying session. Robin in P5, I think he'll be happy with a top 5 finish in qualifying. But I gotta say, Williams, really difficult qualifying session. I was not expecting that. I think the rain came at the worst time for Slash as he got invalidations, and that really hurt his qualifying session. So it is De Burg in the Ferrari that qualifies on pole here in Sao Paulo. A 106.522 is the qualifying lap time, the pole position lap time for the Ferrari driver. 4 100ths of a second sits Aussie right behind him. He's 4 100ths of a second behind DeBerg in that Ferrari. Ruben P3, Red Bull driver, looking for a great result, and this is good for him because his championship contender El Piloto is down at the back of the grid, so this is looking really good for Ruben right now of his chances of winning the championship, but he's got a 106.6. That concludes the top three, and that concludes qualifying as we head into the Brazilian Grand Prix. Alrighty, so we're just waiting for a few drivers to set their tires. You know, they're getting ready for the race, getting prepared, maybe getting a glass of water as well, as they prepare for this intense and exciting Grand Prix here in Brazil. A formation lap will happen as we go over a few details before the upcoming Grand Prix. A lot of stuff to happen in this race. I'm so excited for everything to get underway here in Brazil. If you guys are excited for the upcoming Grand Prix, please make sure to continue on. This is going to be an amazing race, so definitely stick with us here in the stream, as you guys can watch all the action of the F8 stream here in Brazil. So the formation lap is getting underway now, and we will see the drivers set a nice pace. You know, they're going to be weaving those tires back and forth to get temperature in those tires to get ready for the upcoming Grand Prix as we get ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Also, I quickly want to mention standings. El Piloto still has the lead of the championship. He's got 71 points. Ruben is a few points behind. He's a very big points gap away. He's 24 points behind El Piloto. He's got 47 points to his name. So if he's able to grab some good points today against El Piloto, then this will be good for Ruben if he's going to be able to win this championship. But it's really between, I'd say between, actually it's really close, between the top 6 for the championship. Chris in P3 looking for a great result. Jarno P4, he's going to be looking to try and get a good result from starting actually 4th on the grid here as well. But yeah, El Piloto leading the way by quite a lot of points. So even if he doesn't score too many points today, he will still lead the championship. But yeah, let's do the quick rundown of the grid before we get into the racing here today. DeBerg on pole position for the race here in Brazil. Great lap from the Ferrari driver. Let's see if he can hold it down into turn 1. Aussie P2 for AlphaTauri, looking for a great result in the AlphaTauri car as he was just a few 100ths of a second behind the Ferrari in P1. Looking down the rest of the grid, we got Ruben in P3, Jarno P4, Robbins qualifies P5 for Aston Martin with Nick Henshin in P6. He's actually in contention for the championship. Luca P7, Mats P8, Chris P9, Hype P10, Clem P11, Francie P12, Slash in P13, Weg in P14, and El Piloto rounding off the grid. The championship leader looking for a great result in today's race if he's going to be able to make a great comeback. So we are ready to go for the Grand Prix. 36 laps await us. It's time to get the racing underway. We are ready to go. 6 races remain. It's time for the Brazilian Grand Prix as the lights are about to go out here in Brazil. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a great start for the front runners. Aussie gets a good start, but Berger gets a very good start. DeBerg around the outside of the AlphaTauri. Aussie trying to challenge him, but DeBerg leads us away as Ruben's still in P3. Jarno under threat from Robin in P5, looking to take that position off of the McLaren driver, as it looks like we also have some great overtakes between 7th and 8th position. They're 3 wide coming down to turn 4. The Alpine of Nick Kenshin up into P6, Hyped and Luca side by side. McLaren going wide there. El Piloto is up to P14. The Williams did not make the greatest start to the Grand Prix, but they have moved up a few positions. But I'm sure they would have liked to go up a little bit further in the Grand Prix. But DeBerg leads us away for Ferrari. Aussie P2 for AlphaTauri. As Robin's going to send it down the inside on Jarno. He's going to make a very late overtake, but that's going to work out for Robin as he's trying to go side by side with Jarno. Jarno gets the better traction out of turn 11, though, and does keep ahead of Robin. Robin going for the overtake and looking to get a podium in today's race. He's all over the back of Jarno, and he has been from the start of the Grand Prix. Let's see if he can continue this performance and try and overtake Jarno down into turn 1. He's going to pull to the outside line as we start lap 2 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Jarno to the inside. Robin will try it, but he can't. He can't make that overtake, but he's still there. He is still there, but Jarno's going to keep ahead. He cannot make that overtake for now, so Jarno still in P4, and there's nothing that Robin can do so far. And it looks like Chris is trying to defend against the two Alpines who are coming at him. Nick Kenshin down to P8 did not get the greatest getaway. After lap 2, he has his teammates side by side with him. Matt's making the move on Nick Kenshin, and Luca as well in the other Mercedes. He's trying to get into action as well. Luca right in the back of Nick Kenshin now, as, Nick Kenshin gets a little bit too much on the power there. He's starting to struggle a bit. He was P6, now is down to P9. That is not the greatest start for Nick Kenshin. It was going well at the first couple of corners, and then it just seems to go downhill quite fast, but hopefully he can recover for whatever issue was stopping him and preventing him from gaining any more positions. And something did happen to El Piloter. Not exactly sure what happened to the Williams driver, but he's down to P15. Not the greatest start for the Williams driver. It has really not worked out for El Piloter right now, as he's down in P15 and 6 seconds behind the rest of the field. Something did happen to the Williams driver, and that's not good for his championship sakes, as he wants to make sure he gets some good points to stay ahead. And he will stay ahead, whatever happens, but Ruben will be gaining time if he scores some decent points in today's race. So we're now on lap 3. De Burgh leads away by 0.7 of a second to Aussie in the AlphaTauri. Ruben P3, and Jarno 0.2 behind that Red Bull. He's looking to make the overtake on Ruben as soon as possible. Let's see if the McLaren can make an overtake in the next couple of corners. DRS is going to be enabled as well, so these drivers will have the DRS. And what's interesting is that De Burgh is starting to pull away a little bit, and if he gains another 1/10 of a second, then Aussie will be without DRS from the Ferrari driver, which will not be good for the AlphaTauri. But thankfully, he's within DRS right now, so that'll help him out, as that is Wegan off the track. The Ferrari driver spinning off, I do believe, at the exit of turn 12, as we have Chris and Hyped side by side, I do believe. Chris gets ahead into P6. And that's a good move from the third place driver in the championship right now, as Hyped is going to try and go around the outside but cannot make the overtake quite yet. He's going to have DRS on the Haas, and he's going to try and get ahead, and he does get ahead. So good move from Chris there, as Slash has got ahead of Nick Kenshin. Good move from the Williams. The Alpine is now down to P10, and Slash moves up into 9th, so he's making his way through the field. And that's good for Slash. He's going to start chasing after Mats, I do believe. 1.1 seconds separating the Alpine and the Williams. So this will be great news for Slash if he's able to get past Mats and start chasing after the top 6 in today's race. And it looks like we also had a driver come into the pit lane. That was Luca in the Mercedes. Not exactly sure why. I wonder if he had wing damage. I hope he did not. Or that was a strategy call. I don't know exactly what happened there. But unfortunately, Luca is down to P15 and 15 seconds away from the next car, which of course is not ideal. But up at the front, the battle still continues on. It's basically a 5-way fight for P1 at the moment, but they're kind of in a DRS train. We're not going to be seeing too many overtakes at this particular stage. Ruben gets a little bit of oversteer there. Jarno is going to be on the back of him, I'm sure. Oh, yellow flag, that's Robin off the track. Robin off the track. I think he may have spun it at turn 5. And that has not gone well for Robin. He was P5 at one stage and now is down to 12th position. And that has really affected his result in the Grand Prix, as Robin off the track and losing that battle for the top 5 in today's race, which is really, really unfortunate for the Aston Martin. So now it turns into a 4-way fight for the race lead, and that'll help out the top 4 drivers, as they have one less driver to worry about in this battle. But I'm sure that will not help out Robin at all, as he's going to be a little frustrated with that one. But I'm sure he'll come back stronger in the next few laps, as Slash makes the move on Mats. Slash got ahead. He is gaining a lot of time now. Slash up into P5, or up into P7. Sorry, not 5. what I was going to say was he is on 5-lap-old soft compound tires. There actually are quite new. They're newer than any other compound tire in this battle right here. As Chris was looking for a move on Hyped, he's right in the back of the Red Bull there. But yeah, Slash is going to be on newer compound tires, so that'll help him out in terms of grip. He'll have a little bit more grip than the rest of the drivers in this this Titanic battle for P5 right now. Hyped leading away these drivers, and Slash starting to gain time on Chris, who's being kind of held up by Hyped right now. He can't really make an overtake quite yet, but he should have the opportunity down to turn 1. And we'll find out in the next couple of seconds here if he's going to be able to overtake Hyped. Hyped goes a little bit wide. That allows Chris to get the better exit out of turn 12, and he's going to have the DRS as well. Let's get telemetry on so we can see all that info, as he only has 33% ERS, which is not good for the Haas driver, but he's going to try and get ahead, and he, I think, will get ahead of Hyped. Hyped trying to come back at him, but I think Chris has got it. He has got it. Into the Senna S as we go. Hyped is going to look to try and retake P5 in this Grand Prix, though. He's going to have ERS, he's going to have DRS. Chris is trying to defend as much as possible. Down to Destino de Lago we go. Hype pulling around the outside. He's going to try and keep it going, and he cannot, unfortunately, as Chris will keep ahead. The Hype is coming back to the inside line now, which now becomes the outside, and the Red Bull trying to keep it going into the uphill section. But he's going to have to back off, and he switchbacks. He switchbacks and goes to the inside line. That was courageous. It didn't really work out, though. And Slash is now right in the back of Hype, because Hype went for the move on Chris. He went for the switchback maneuver. It was courageous, but I think it was a little bit too much, as that particular corner, I think Chris was already turning in, and there was nothing that Hype could do there, or Chris could do there, to avoid the Red Bull driver. It was kind of a racing incident there, but yeah, it looks like Hyped has moved down to P6, which is a little unfortunate, but that is okay, as Slash is going to try and go down the inside. Maybe a Carlos Sainz move. Into turn 1. Matt's there as well in the Alpine. It's a three-way fight for 6th position right now, and this is going really well. Slash gets a little bit too much of the power there. Drifts the car into turn 2. Thankfully is okay, though, and will continue on. He's got the DRS. He cannot make the move on Hype, though. He's going to have to stick behind for a few more corners, which is going to upset him, I bet. He wants to get past Hype and get into that battle for the top 5. As he's trying to get past that Red Bull, looking for any opportunity to make that move on the Red Bull driver, but there's not really any place to do that. But going back up to the front of the field, we do have a titanic battle for P1 right now. De Burgh is still 7/10 ahead of Aussie, but he's got 3 cars right behind him. So the Ferrari driver will be, I'm sure, under pressure right now. I'm sure he's going to be trying to look in his mirrors at all times. As here comes Aussie, DRS enabled. De Burgh trying to break the slipstream there. Down into turn 1 we go. And Aussie much more closer to the Ferrari driver. So this is looking good for the AlphaTauri right now. But De Burgh did get a much better exit out of that particular corner. So Aussie probably won't be able to make that overtake quite yet. And one driver that is going to be saying, let me have that chance. Let me have that chance to try and get ahead and try and challenge P1 is Ruben. Ruben in that Red Bull. He's right behind P3, and he can't really make that overtake on P1 right now on De Burgh, as he's got Aussie right ahead. So I'm sure he's going to be looking to get past Aussie and then try and challenge that Ferrari driver. I'm sure Jarno will be thinking the same thing, as he's right in the back of Ruben as well. It's really a 4-way fight for P1 here, and it's all just who gets the better exit, who gets the nicer slipstream down to a particular corner, and who can get ahead, of course. Meanwhile, I do believe Jarno's teammate Francie did have some sort of spin or something like that, because he's down to P12. I think I saw a yellow flag, and I saw a McLaren going slowly there, which is going to affect his Grand Prix result, which is a little unfortunate, but that is all good. As Ruben right in the back of the AlphaTauri, is going to send it. No, he is not. That's a smart decision from Ruben, because he knows that he cannot make the overtake on Aussie quite yet. It's a little bit too late if he was going to send it, and there wasn't a lot of space, it seems, since he's going to use ERS. He's got a lot of ERS to spare, so he's going to go to the inside line, and he's going to pull alongside the AlphaTauri and get ahead of the AlphaTauri. Ruben up into 2nd position now, and now it is his turn to try and get ahead and try and make that move on De Burgh. Ruben, it is his turn to try and get that position. As Aussie tried, I think those tires are starting to degrade a little bit more than what you've liked. And Ruben's now going to say it's my turn to try and challenge P1 and try and get ahead of De Burgh and lead this Brazilian Grand Prix. And remember, Ruben is in that championship fight with El Piloter and Jarno and Chris as well. So he's going to be wanting to get the best position possible because, of course, you want that race victory, but at the same time, you want points to be able to challenge for the championship in Season 30 of PSGL. Meanwhile, Jarno is pulling alongside the AlphaTauri as Aussie coming to the pit lane, just confirming my thoughts on maybe tire degradation for the AlphaTauri driver, or maybe he's trying to go for an undercut strategy. Maybe his tires are okay, and he's just trying to go for the undercut. Either way, he is into the pit lane, and he is going to be exiting probably in P13, maybe P12. Let's see. Here comes the McLaren and the Aston Martin as Robin and Francie are actually having a great battle right now as we speak of them. And here comes the AlphaTauri of Aussie. I think he will come out actually in P14. Not exactly sure about that though. Yeah, he's going to come out in P14. Just to confirm that. He is going to come out in 14th position there. So meanwhile, battle for 4th is looking quite interesting. Slash and P4, Hyped, Chris, Mats and Clem as well, actually, in the Mercedes. So a 5-way fight for 4th position in this Grand Prix. This is looking very spicy right now. I cannot wait to see how that all happens as Jarno using some ERS, using some DRS, and he's going to try and get past Ruben here, and he's going to pull the inside line. Nothing Ruben can do right now, but the great thing is that there is a second DRS zone, so Ruben will have the opportunity to try and make the move on Jarno as Slash comes into the pit lane. Very interesting. I have a feeling that's either for the undercut or he pushed those tires too much. Because the thing is, like I mentioned previously, Slash was on newer tires. I mean, they are the same laps, but those soft tires are fresher than the other soft compound tires. So you would expect that Slash's tires were pretty good, but maybe that was just the undercut. I'm not exactly sure about that one, but yeah, he has come into the pit lane, and that won't hurt his race. That will give him an opportunity to try and overtake a few people and try and extend that gap off of Chris and Hyped and the rest of the drivers in that fight for 4th position right now. So we'll see. We will see how the Williams driver can do. He started P13, and he's already in the battle for not just for a top 5, but even a podium as well. So, I think we're just waiting for the top 3 to come into the pit lane. De Burgh stays out. Jarno stays... Oh, no, Jarno's coming into the pit lane. Same with Ruben, actually. So the race leader stays out. Jarno and Ruben come into the pit lane. Very, very interesting. And Red Bull are choosing also to double stack their cars. Hyped is coming into the pit lane as well. And that is a double stack performed by Red Bull. How will this work out? Let's find out. Hyped into the pit lane now. Red Bull... oh, that was actually a neat stop. That was actually a really good double stack by Red Bull. So Ruben and Hyped didn't lose too much time there, or Hyped didn't lose too much time due to Ruben's pit stop. So that is quite interesting. But let's run on board with Aussie, who is coming out right behind Ruben. Ruben and Jarno keep ahead of Aussie, so they have jumped him in the pit lane here. And that has worked out beautifully for those drivers, and particularly Jarno as well, who is in effectively P2 now. So this will really work out for Jarno here, and he's already starting to chase after Robin and his teammate Francie as well. And so things are looking good for Jarno right now. I'm just hoping that these things will continue till the end of the Grand Prix. So we're also waiting for De Burgh to come into the pit lane. He is going quite long on those soft compound tires, trying to stretch them to the medium stint and trying to go long on these tires. So let's see as he's coming into the pit lane now. Matt's also into the pits as Clem is going to take over as race leader for now. And where is Jarno? That is the question. Where is Jarno? He's kind of being held up by Robin and Francie here, so this is not good for Jarno. But let's see if he's going to try and make that overtake and maybe try and get ahead of De Burgh now. Ooh, it's going to be really, really close here. But I think De Burgh will get ahead. There's the Ferrari. And yeah, he gets ahead. Jarno trying to keep ahead. He's going to try and go. They're going to go 3 wide. They're going to go 3 wide down to turn 4 now. and that was beautiful for the two McLarens. Jarno up into P4. That worked out immensely. That was absolutely phenomenal. I did not expect that to happen, and that was the best. That was one of the best overtakes I've ever seen at Brazil at Destino do Lago. Jarno made 2 overtakes in 1 corner, and now look where he is. He is right behind De Burgh. That was absolutely crucial for Jarno to get past there, and it worked out beautifully for the McLaren driver. That was perfection. Absolutely amazing from Jarno. And this has worked out really well because now, for the McLarens, it's worked out really well because now Ruben and Aussie are going to be stuck behind those other drivers in P5 and P6. So this has not worked out for Ruben and Aussie, who are trying to make their way through the field. As actually Ruben's going to now make the overtake on not 1 but 2. So Ruben now gets up into P5. But even that time of them being held up behind the Aston and the McLaren for, I'd say, half a lap, that has now allowed Jarno to get 1.3 seconds ahead and on the back of De Burgh for the race lead here. This is going down to the wire now. We just have around, I'd say... Let's see here. Oh, that's a crash. That's a crash. Hold on. I'll come back to what I was saying later. Francie in the wall and has spun off there. The McLaren has unfortunately spun off, and that has really ruined his chances of getting a good result in today's race, as he's going to be falling down the order now. Oh, and Francie spins, and Mats couldn't do anything to avoid that. Mats was caught up in that as well, and that is just devastation and heartbreak for the Alpine driver. Nothing he could do to avoid Francie. I think Francie just got too much on the power out of turn 4. And then it seemed like those tires were just too hot, and he spun again at the following corner. And like I mentioned previously, unfortunately, he was caught up in the incident with Francie. As there goes Jarno and De Burgh. Both drivers get past Nick Kenshin. That was interesting. And now Jarno is going to have the DRS to try and overtake De Burgh now. Let's see. Can he make the overtake? This is effectively for the race lead, remember. As just 20 laps remaining of the Grand Prix, as Francie does retire from the pit lane there. That's unfortunate, as that's going to be a Sector 1 yellow flag, no safety car or VSC, as that was in the pit lane. But yeah, wow, this is going to be interesting between second and third position. And once Clem comes into the pit lane, once Clem comes into the pits, De Burgh and Jarno will be in P1 and P2. So this is going to be very interesting here. As Ruben now makes the overtake on Nick Kenshin. He's trying to get in the battle for what will be P1 in the Grand Prix. But let's see how this works out. This is turning out to be one of the best battles I've seen at Brazil, as a lot of drivers were involved in the fight for P1. As Aussie now gets past Nick Kenshin, it's really a 4-way fight for P1 right now. As Jarno looking for the overtake. Jarno does look for the overtake on De Burgh. He looked to the inside line, and now he's going to have the opportunity to try and get past De Burgh into the Destino do Lago. Down the Retro Pasta comes Jarno in the McLaren. He cannot make the overtake so far. He's too far behind. He is way too far behind, and that has unfortunately hurt his race quite a bit. And actually, De Burgh is on the same amount of ERS as Jarno, so this is quite interesting. They're quite equally matched as well in terms of pace. They both have similar pace, I'd say. And yeah, this is turning to be a titanic end to the Brazilian Grand Prix. Just around, I'd say, halfway mark of the race. And we're just going to see who comes out on top here with a titanic end to the race here in Interlagos. And a fight for what will be P1, currently P2. But, oh, Nick Kenshin, 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. Not exactly sure what that was about. I think he may have just cut the corner at a particular corner of the track. As Aussie is also looking for the move on Ruben as well. So that's quite interesting, as the meanwhile, the two Williams swap positions. I think that was team orders by Williams there. El Piloto going long on those 17-lap-old medium compound tires. So, yeah, he's going a ways. He's going to try and take him to the soft stint. So who knows? El Piloto and Clem, they might join the fight for P1. Could we have like a 6-way, 7-way fight for the race lead? We'll find out in a few laps' time. This is going to be An amazing race to watch till the end of the 36 laps of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, Aussie gets a little bit too much on the power. Out of turn 12. He got way too much on the power, actually. Thankfully, he saved the car. Oh, and that's rain. That's rain. That is rain. Oh, my goodness. And like the British Grand Prix, if you guys remember all the way back in Britain, this might change the results of the race, because Clem is in P1, and if the rain starts coming in harder, he can pit onto the intermediates and stay in P1. This is absolutely phenomenal. I had no idea the rain was coming, and this has affected everything now. That's why the sky was already getting darker as we were going on with the race, but now the rain has officially hit, and this could change everything. This could change the fundamentals of the Grand Prix. Let's see. Oh, and that's Robin off. Robin off the track. And, yeah, he spun off at the... That's actually a very odd place to spin off. I wonder if he got just too much on the... Oh, he's got major wing damage as well. I think he may have got too much on the entrance to... or the exit, actually, to turn 3, coming down the Retro Pasta. And I think he may have... just spun it. I think that's kind of all that happened. Or this rain is really affecting the drivability of the race as Clem is coming into the pit lane and Jarno onto the intermediates. Ruben Aussie into the pits on the intermediates as well, I'm assuming. As the race leader, De Berg, stays out on track. That is very interesting. Very interesting. And this is almost like a British Grand Prix. Like, I think if you guys remember the British Grand Prix round 2, it was. Chris stayed out for long. And then, oh, Jarno spun it! Jarno spun it in the pit lane! Oh, no! The race lead contender has spun it in the pit lane! Drama at the exit. Will that hurt his position? I don't think it will, so that's okay, actually. It didn't really affect his position in the Grand Prix. He just lost a lot of time, unfortunately. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, this is almost a carbon copy to the British Grand Prix, where I do believe it was Chris Howlett. Chris Howlett stayed out very long on the tires. And then when the rain came, he pit on the intermediates and won the race. He won the Grand Prix. And this is almost the same situation with Clem. Clem in P2 has got a good gap to Jarno because Jarno did spin, and that's going to help out Clem. And De Berg now coming into the pit lane. He's lost a lot of time, I think. Oh, and he gets a 5-second time penalty in the process. So, could we see a repeat to the British Grand Prix with a different driver winning the race and going long on the tires? Might have just helped out Clem to possibly take his first race victory in PSGL Season 30. Oh, and Mats is out of the race. Could that be a full core safety car or a VSC? Ooh, let's see. He's the second retirement of the Grand Prix. Sector 3 yellow flag so far, but nothing else. Nothing else. So De Berg is going to exit with around 3 seconds to Clem. Clem takes over as race leader of the Grand Prix. And like I said, the rain really has affected the entire results of the Grand Prix. As I wasn't expecting Clem to win this one. Just, of course, he had to pit, but I didn't expect the rain to come either, so, wow. Okay. Oh, Jarno off the track. Jarno really off the track. And it looks like he's really struggling in these conditions, maybe running really low downforce settings, which will, of course, affect your result. If you have really low downforce settings, you will not have the pace out of the corner. So that'll hurt you quite a bit. So I've got the feeling that Jarno might be running a lower downforce setting than other drivers. And that's affecting his turning abilities. And it seems like he's just going very wide. So and he's got wing damage as well. Jarno's got major wing damage. Ooh, that has hurt his race a lot. And this has really been a really difficult 2 weeks for Jarno here. Netherlands did not go well for him, and here in Brazil it has not gone well for him so far. And I feel for the guy. It's been really difficult for him. It just seems like the worst timing for stuff with the safety car, and then he got a drive-through penalty, and then the rain really hurt his Grand Prix as well, and he's going to be moving down to P9, which will really, really affect his position, of course. And maybe even P10, actually. It is going to be P10. Oh, dear. Well, let's see how this works out. We got Clem in P1, still leading the Grand Prix by 2.1 seconds. De Burgh gaining time, but he does have that 5-second penalty. So the gap is basically an equivalent to 7 seconds. So if Clem can keep this going, if Clem can just keep up a nice, consistent pace, then he might have not just a podium, but maybe even the race victory here. We know that De Burgh is flying out there. We know he's very quick. He is gaining a lot of time on Clem, but he does have that 5-second penalty, which is going to affect his Grand Prix results. So, I don't know. Let's see. And Slash is also in the fight as well. Slash in P5 going for a massive recovery drive. And no DRS is assisted quite yet, so he's going to have to make this overtake the old-fashioned way by no DRS assistance. And he will have the pace. I think he will have the pace to try and overtake Aussie here. And he'll have the ERS as well, so this will help him quite a bit here. And El Piloter up to P7, so this has worked out really well for El Piloter as well. He stayed out and might be getting a top 6 in today's race, which is going to be really good for the Williams driver. Hopefully he'll be able to get a good result. But of course Chris is in a great result as well, looking for some good points in today's race, and he is in that fight for the championship as well. He is currently 3rd in the Drivers' Championship, and El Piloter in the lead of the championship. So these two drivers are going to be battling for this F8 championship. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. I don't know if Chris will be able to hold off Slash, who's coming in pretty fast. Or sorry, El Piloter, not Slash. But we'll see. This is going to be interesting. And I think our closest battle is really the battle for 4th right now, or actually 3rd, because Ruben's in P3. And Slash is right behind Aussie right now, so he could be making an overtake anytime soon now. We'll find out. We'll find out in a few moments. Alrighty, so we are on lap 24 out of lap 36. It has been a very big change of events in the Brazilian Grand Prix. It was looking to be a straight fight between De Burgh and Ruben and Aussie and Jarno for the race win. And now Clem is in the fight, Slash is in the fight, and the rain has helped them to get that, which is great. You know, it's great to see the weather conditions come into play and help out some drivers, you know, to get them in contention for race victories. So this will be interesting. I cannot wait to see the end of the Grand Prix. I cannot wait maybe to interview Clem. I haven't interviewed him quite yet. So it'd be great to see his reaction to whatever result he gets. Right now he's on for a podium, a definite podium, I say. It will be quite hard to do that, I think. But right now he is fighting for the race victory. He is fighting for the race victory. So we'll see. We'll see. And viewers, like I mentioned at the very start of this race, there is only 6 rounds remaining of the season. It has been an amazing season. We've had so many amazing rounds of F8, and it has been absolutely phenomenal to commentate on every single one of them. I hope you have all enjoyed the streams and the commentary and the racing out on track as well. These drivers have joined an amazing tier to race in, and yeah, have really showed off some incredible pace. And yeah, after this, we'll be heading to another phenomenal circuits, of course. Let me pull up the calendar so we can get exactly that information. And yeah, because next we'll be heading to Mexico, which will be an awesome race, of course. We'll be heading to Mexico City. Brazil and Mexico are actually quite close together in terms of geography. So yeah, it's gonna be, they're just gonna be going straight up to Mexico, and then they're gonna be flying across the Pacific Ocean to Singapore, and then back actually to the United States, to my home Grand Prix, the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas. So that'll be exciting, and then we'll be heading to Imola, Italy. So we'll be heading to the Italian Grand Prix, or actually the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, as yeah, we will not be racing in Monza this season. And then rounding it off in Bahrain. So a lot of races to anticipate. You know, I think we'll be having some amazing Grand Prix in the future Grand Prix. Mexico, I'm excited for that one. I think there's always been some great racing. That long straight is incredible for drivers to make an overtake. And then there's also the two other DRS zones as well. And then you have the grandstand section. The Mexico Grand Prix is always a phenomenal race to race there. So yeah, excited for the Mexican Grand Prix. We'll see how that goes. That'll be coming up next week. So yeah, but we want to focus on the battle right here and the rest of the race. Just 10 laps remain for Clem in this Grand Prix. 0.4 of a second separates first and second position. De Burgh going for his first race victory this season, but Clem also going for his first race victory this season. So either way, one of these drivers will be picking up their first race victory, and I'm sure either one of them will be happy with the result they get. But yeah, this is going to be absolutely phenomenal to see who is going to be grabbing this one. Also, Ruben going for another podium, and Austin and Slash, all three in the fight for the podium here today. So we'll see how this works out. But what Clem needs to do is defend as much as possible, and he's doing that. He is doing a marvelous job of that. He is just consistently keeping up with De Burgh, which is great to see. And I think if he can defend De Burgh as long as possible, then that's good enough. Because the thing is too is that if De Burgh does overtake Clem, it's not the end, because De Burgh's got that 5-second time penalty. There's a possibility that could get removed. I don't know if the stewards will be looking into that, if De Burgh will want to get that penalty removed. I don't think he'll be able to, because I do believe he braked a little bit later. Oh, Clem gets a little bit too much on the power there. But this might be it. This might be it for De Burgh. He might be making the overtake now into turn 1. He's just too far behind, I think. And he can't go for a late send, because if you go for that, then you're going to mess up your braking. So he's got to make the overtake on a straight line here. Let's see. He's much closer to Clem using ERS. He's trying to make that overtake on the Mercedes driver, but cannot do it. Down to Destino Del Lago, looking to the inside line. He cannot make that overtake on Clem. And thank goodness the rain is here for Clem, because De Burgh would have had the DRS, and that would have allowed him to get past Clem quite easily, I'm assuming. But yeah, this is going good for Clem right now. If he can just keep this going, keep up this great performance, then he might have this race victory, which would be awesome for the Mercedes driver. It'd be great to see him on top in this race. We will find out how this works out, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be Mercedes' first win since Milan in what was it? Was it France, I think? Yeah, I think it was France. Round 4. I think it would be Mercedes' first win since France. We'll find out. We're on lap 28, on lap 36. So much action to go. As De Burgh much closer this time around. He's going to send it to the inside. Oh, he looks for it. Doesn't go for it, though. This is turning into a very interesting end to the Grand Prix. Can Clem hold on to P1, or will De Burgh get this one? Let's find out. We have some support coming in the comments that says, come on, Clem. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see if Clem can be able to get P1. Of course, we want De Burgh to win as well. We want both drivers to win, but yeah, Clem going for that first victory. If this works out, it'll be another Chris Hallett situation here, because Chris Hallett went long. You know that story of the Haas driver. He went long on those tires. The rain came out, pit on the intermediates, and won the Grand Prix. It's looking to be a carbon copy to what happened in Britain here today in Brazil. But yeah, we'll find out. Anything can happen in racing. A spin could happen. A mistake of a crash could happen, you know, contact between another driver, you know, anything can happen, but we're hoping for the best for both drivers here. Let's see if they can give us a good show to watch, as actually DeBerg gets a much better exit out of that particular corner. He might have the opportunity to make the move on Clem. He's using ERS. Clem using ERS as well, though. Ooh, this is going to be close. I think this is the closest that DeBerg has got. I think he's got to go for it. He's going to try. Down the inside goes the Ferrari driver. They're going to go side by side, down to turn 2. Ooh, it's so close. This is for the race lead, and DeBerg gets the position. DeBerg does get the position off of Clem. He has finally done it. Is Clem going to try and fight him back? No, I don't think he's going to do it. So DeBerg takes over as race leader, but if Clem can stick right behind for the next 6 laps, then he's got it. He's got the race victory, because remember, DeBerg still has that 5-second time penalty, so if DeBerg gains 5 seconds, which I don't believe he's going to be able to do, then if he gains that time, then he will be able to get P1, but if he doesn't, Clem's got the race victory. Let's find out. This is going to get interesting. This is about time now. DeBerg almost loses the car there. That was so close to a mistake and a DNF for the Ferrari driver, which would have not been great. This is getting very, very tight between the top 2 drivers here. Let's see if Clem is able to stick right behind the Ferrari driver. DeBerg, now that he's in clean air, he has got a 1-second gap now. But if Clem can stay within that gap to the Ferrari driver, he's got the race victory. And another thing to watch out for as well is Ruben. So I think Clem will be starting to worry about Ruben, because Ruben's on no penalties. He has no penalties. So this is an intense situation for Clem, because he's got to worry about Ruben and the pack he's leading up to him. And he's got to worry about staying within that gap to DeBerg in that Ferrari. So this is going to be a big pressure situation for the Mercedes driver. But we'll see. We'll see how this works out. We'll see if he's going to be able to grab his first race victory this season, or will DeBerg? Let's find out. And we did have a comment that came in that said Ruben is starting to catch up to Clem. You are correct. He is now 1.7 seconds behind the Mercedes driver. So this is not good for Clem. And Ruben knows that he could be picking up his 3rd race victory here today in PSGL, and this will be great for the championship as well. If he's going to be able to overtake Clem and stay within the gap to DeBerg, then he's going to be able to grab a race victory. So pretty much any of these drivers can win here today. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Gap now is almost 2 seconds. We are on lap 32 out of lap 36. We just have a few laps to go, and this is getting really intense, guys. I'm starting to sweat, because this is getting to the end of the Grand Prix, and this is going to come down to the final lap of the race, I think. Let's see how this works out. Is Clem going to be able to do this, or is it going to be DeBerg, or is it going to be Ruben? One of these 3 drivers is going to win the Grand Prix, but the question is, who will it be? So so judging by the pace right now, Clem has, or DeBerg has gained around 5. Oh, Robin West out of the race. Is that going to be a full course safety car? That's a virtual safety car. And has that changed a lot of things? Let's see. Oh, and DeBerg has slowed down a lot now. DeBerg has slowed down a lot. Is that going to hurt his race and reduce that gap? Let's find out. Meanwhile, Slash comes into the pit lane. That's quite interesting. Oh, there's a full course safety car! A full course safety car! It turned into a full course safety car! This is mad! This is amazing! This is crazy! DeBerg, this is it for DeBerg. He cannot do this. Clem is gonna get up in the P1 with this, but now what Clem's got to worry about is Ruben. Ruben is now going to be right in the back of Clem at the start. So what needs to happen for Clem is he needs to get the best start imaginable. He has to get the best start he's ever pulled on a safety car restart. Because otherwise, Ruben is gonna get the position off of Clem. This is huge. DeBerg, he's done. I don't think he's gonna be able to grab the race victory. 5 seconds is not enough time unless there's some sort of crazy incident, which I doubt there'll be. with this competitive field, but wow, has this changed everything. The first safety car has been deployed, and now the battle is really between Clem and Ruben, and even Aussie is in the fight as well. Could Chris also get in the fight? This is going to get really interesting. Who knows who could win this Grand Prix now? This is crazy. So we're now lap 33, out of lap 36. We're going to get around 3 laps remaining of this Grand Prix. If the safety car goes out, if the safety car goes out for another lap, then we'll get 2. We'll get 2 laps of racing. And we will get 2 laps of racing. If this was for the championship, I would absolutely be just buzzing about this, and I already am. This is just a normal race, and we're already watching history being made here, and another classic race here in Brazil, really. But wow, wouldn't this be a crazy end to the championship if it was like this, if this was for the championship? And also, this would kind of be like a Verstappen-Hamilton situation without all the drama that would happen. But wow, let's see what happens here. De Burgh, nothing he can do. I don't think there's anything he can do at this stage. The only thing he can really do is maybe try and get that penalty removed, which I don't think is possible. So I think it really is going to be between Clem and Ruben. So what needs to happen for Clem is he has to get a really good start. That's first priority. Second priority is defending like crazy off of Ruben. He has to defend every single corner because Ruben's going to be trying everything. He's going to be trying everything to try and get past Clem and get this race victory. And Ruben's also got to worry because Aussie's right there. And same thing goes for Aussie. He's got to worry because Chris is right there and so on. You know, that's kind of how it works out, which is going to be very interesting. Also, we do have a few drivers on the softs, which is kind of interesting. It's definitely not time for the dry compound tires. I think this might be just for either a joke or I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. Safety car is coming in this lap. This is where it matters, guys. Let's see how this works out. We have 2 laps remaining of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's a shootout to the end to see who's going to grab the race victory here in Brazil. Like I mentioned, Clem has to get the best start imaginable off of Ruben, and if Ruben wants to get this one, he's got to get the best start imaginable. Let's see how this works out. And the question is, where will De Burgh go? He goes early. And Clem got a really good start. Actually. That was perfect for the Mercedes driver. And Ruben's going to be right in the back, too, but he's too far behind. He is too far behind. And if Clem's held up by De Burgh as well, this might affect his pace right now because Ruben's right in the back of Clem. He got a really good exit off of this one. He's gone 4 straights to try and make that overtake on Clem. Otherwise, it's gonna be on the curves. As Slash is gonna try and make the move on Chris. LP Loader is gonna try and make the move on Chris as well. As the Williams are now gonna go side by side down to turn 7. LP Loader now up at a P5. This is good for him. Really good for him. And here comes Aussie as well. Aussie going for another podium in PSGL. This would be his second podium this season. He grabbed the podium in his debut race in Austria, driving for the Alfa Romeo team, and he's going to be possibly grabbing another one here today if he's able to keep up this performance. So now we head on to 3 more straights. We're coming on to the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is how this is going to work out. Can Clem defend off of Ruben? Ruben using ERS, Clem using ERS now. This is absolute perfection. Ruben, this is the last place where you can really make a dive bomb. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He has no ability to try and go down the inside. There's not enough space right now. I mean, if he was closer, he would have been able to do that. But now look at him. Now he's right in the back of Clem. This is really the only place if he's going to be able to make this overtake. ERS enabled. Clem ERS enabled as well. This is interesting. This is crazy. Into the Cine del Lago. Clem stays ahead. He's gonna, I think he might do this one, but anything can happen. ERS enabled for Ruben. As we enter the final few corners of this race, Clem's heart must be pounding right now as Ruben is trying everything as well. As LP Loader and Aussie going for a move as well. LP Loader going for the podium right now. Aussie trying to keep ahead. I think he will keep ahead of LP Locher, who's trying to and go down the inside. There he goes. There it goes. The Williams driver is going to get ahead, and I think he might have the podium here. Aussie coming back at him, though. But LP Locher is going to do it. And here we go, viewers. Clem has done it. The absolute amazing strategy to carbon copy to Britain. And Clem, this is going to be it. Clem is going to do it. And the rain came at the perfect time for Clem, who's going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Clem takes his first win of the season. Wow, what an absolutely amazing end to the season. He did it. He held off Ruben. He did it. Clem is the race winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix here for round 10, and that is absolute perfection. He absolutely perfected the strategy and defended like crazy, but wow, absolutely phenomenal. He absolutely deserves that, because that was an amazing performance. He absolutely did amazingly well. I am out of words, because that was just one of the best ends to a race I've ever seen. So Ruben takes P2 as well. Congrats to him on a second position. We'll be interviewing the top three in a moment here. LP Locher, the championship leader, up from the back of the grid to third position. What a recovery drive for LP Locher. Definitely, I think it's either Clem or LP Locher as my driver of the day, as both did really well. Ruben also did a great job as well, up to second position. But wow, what a race. What a race. Absolutely phenomenal here in Interlagos. Clem is your race winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix. So here's your race victory. Here's your race winner of the event. It is Clem, winner of the race here in Brazil. What a phenomenal race he pulled off. It is Mercedes' first win officially on track since Milan in France of round 8. Great to see Mercedes back on the top step of the podium. Ruben P2, that's going to help him in the championship, and same with LP Locher as well. Great to see him in P3, so all three drivers do deserve that podium. They're going to be very happy with that one, but here's the results for the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Sao Paulo. Clem in P1 for Mercedes, started 11th, finished first. What an incredible job he did. Ruben P2 for Red Bull Racing, grabbed the fastest lap as well. He grabs P2. He tried everything he could to try and get Clem and get his third on-track victory of the season, but it wasn't meant to be. He'll come back stronger, and I'm sure he'll be happy with P2. LP Locher P3 from 15th on the grid. What an amazing job he did for Williams. Aussie in P4 for AlphaTauri, with Jarno in P5, making it up into the top 5, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that recovery drive. De Berg, oh my goodness, I mean, he finished P1 on track, but of course with the penalty, slipped down to P6, which is a little unfortunate. Slash P7, Chris Allen in P8, Nick Kenshin in P9, and Wagon rounds off the top 10 of the results for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Alrighty, so what's going to happen now, viewers, is you're going to see a blue screen as I invite our three drivers into the commentary box here. We'll get a quick interview with all three and get their reactions to their Grand Prix, and then we'll end off the stream. So just give me a moment as I invite those drivers. Like I mentioned, you'll see a blue screen for just a moment. Alrighty, so we have a few drivers joining the party chat real quickly. Thank you all so much for your patience in this race. So we're just gonna wait for our 3 drivers to join the party chat, and we'll get a quick interview with all of them. So just give me a moment while I quickly make sure that they're in. I think we have Ruben joining us. Ruben, just wait a moment as we get the other 2 drivers in here, and then we'll start with all the interviews.
Yep, all good.
Cool. All right. Well, let me quickly see if El Piloter and... Oh, there's El Piloter. Cool. And then we have Clem in the Mercedes. Give me a moment here, viewers.
Good night.
Okay, so Clem hopefully will be joining us in a second. So since we have third and second place drivers in here, we will start off with you guys. Real quickly, you guys have been in the party chat before, so you probably already know the drill. If you guys can check and see if your party settings are allowed to be shared on YouTube, that would be great.
I have just turned it on.
Perfect. Okay. Alrighty. So, and Clem is responding. So give me a moment here. Alrighty, well, let's start off with third place in today's race, and then we'll get into the Grand Prix, or into the end of the Grand Prix itself and the end of the stream. So we'll start off with you, El Piloter, in the Williams car. You went from 15th to 3rd position. What an incredible drive you pulled off today. What an amazing race it truly was. So talk us through how your Grand Prix went.
Well, my Grand Prix was like mess up in Netherlands when I fucked up the lap of OSC and I earned fair polyban, so I had to do a comeback. In the first lap, it was good because I have overtook Francie, but we made contact and I was dead last, so I thought my race was over unless there was a safety car. I kept going, and nothing really interesting happened. In between my race was going alone until the pit lane from the Inters. That I have a battle from the distance with Chris that I enjoyed. We were equal on pace. It was amazing. And then once there was the blessed safety car that I took profit and pit because I have 3 pit stop, and I and my teammate, we overtake Chris and I make a late launch onto the OSC in the last lap and finished P4. I didn't know that the Ferrari had a penalty, so I was like P4 nice, but it was even better. Navage limitation.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a great race. I mean, that's an incredible achievement. I think the game gave you driver of the day as well, which is great. So yeah, it sounds like you had a great race. Just talk us through also what happened at the start of qualifying, actually. I'd like to know that. Did you have like a quali ban or something like that? Or what happened? Why did you retire in qualifying?
The first thing I told you is that Netherlands I received a quali ban because I
okay.
The OSC during qualifying, so I earned a quali ban. That's the reason I get last one.
Okay, I'm sorry, I must have missed that or something like that. Okay, so
my English is not good, so you are forgiven.
Well, so you said you were battling for 4th position at the time. You tried to go, I think, round the outside at turn 9 on Aussie, and then you made a dive bomb on him into turn 11, which worked out really good. So you said you were battling for mainly 4th, right?
Yes, I didn't know the Ferrari had a penalty, so I didn't know it was a podium.
Well, it was a great surprise, it sounds like. I mean, you got P3. I'm sure you're happy with that. And I just want to get one more question for you, from you, actually. Actually, about the season itself. So you're currently the championship leader. Your closest rival is in P2, Ruben, who's actually in this party chat as well. So what are you thinking for the championship? Is there any thoughts on that? Because there's only now 5 races remaining. Is it just head down and try and focus as hard as possible, or what's your thoughts on that?
I knew that this was gonna get because Brazil is not my strongest track. It will be more stronger than the future, and I had a good advance, so I knew this was a damage limitation Grand Prix, and only to finish one place down the run, I will take that. I will have signature that when I start the Grand Prix.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, the championship is coming down, and it sounds like you got a strategy, you got a mindset coming into the final 5 races. All the best for the championship, and all the best to you and Ruben. You know, you guys will be having that championship fight because you're currently P1 and P2. So congrats on P3 as well, and yeah, just amazing race.
Cheers.
Alrighty, let's move into our second place finisher of the Brazilian Grand Prix, Ruben, in the Red Bull. So, Ruben, you join us once again in the party chat for the interviews here today. Are you happy with P2? We saw you trying to hold back Aussie and I do believe it was Slash as well. And then you were trying to catch up as well to Klemblid in that Mercedes. Was that kind of just your pace, or what were you thinking about that whole last sit? And just kind of talk us through your race itself.
Yeah, my race, I think it was an extremely tough race. It was very hard. It was one of the hardest races I've ever driven. So yeah, and yeah, my race, I got a fine start behind the 2 leaders, and just cruise from there, I think, and I don't really remember much. It was very tough, so I think, yeah, the rain came down, and yeah, what is he called? Jarno, he hit the wall, and yeah, yeah, and I really just cruised from there into P2. Oh yeah, the safety car came. Sorry, the safety car came. Was it?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
No, nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a great race. Sounds like it was pretty difficult as well. But you ended up in P2. You were battling away for the race victory. And that safety car came out at the last minute. Did that surprise you that safety car came out? And when the safety car did come out, what was your thoughts about just like moving forward and like going for that podium and the race victory as well?
Yeah, I was very surprised the safety car came out, because I was like, that's too late. I thought it was a bug or something. So yeah, surprised it came out so late, but still managed to get the P2. So not really sad with the safety car, or what do you say? Yeah.
Yeah, well, congrats on P2. Really well done on that one. You were so close to getting P1, but of course you are battling for that championship as well. So all the best for the championship as well, with you and El Piloter and the rest of the field as well. I want to get one more question from you, if you don't mind, about the next one in Mexico. How are you feeling about the Mexican Grand Prix? Are you looking forward to it?
No, I don't like that track. It's yeah, I don't like the track. No, so not really looking forward to that one.
That's quite all right.
I'm looking forward the penalties because they are going to rain. Like it rain in Brazil, water is going to rain in Mexico. Penalties. Track limits are extremely.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Especially in Sector 2. It's extremely.
Car braking can be.
Yeah, you guys are totally correct. It is a very difficult track to drive, and yeah, like you mentioned there, penalties are very difficult to not get. I guess, especially in Sector 2, like Ruben mentioned there. So anyway, I think that's going to conclude things. Thank you both so much for joining us in the interview box. Congrats on your respective positions. We were unable to get Clemblid in the party chat today, but yeah, I'm sure he's enjoying P1 in a fantastic result for him. I'm sure he will be enjoying that. So congrats to him on that result. So yeah. All right. So viewers, we're going to be ending off the stream here today. As you may have guessed, we're heading to Mexico for round 11 of the season 30 championship. We are ready to go for another race. It was a fantastic race here in Brazil. Clemblid, the winner of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Congrats to him again on the race victory. 5 rounds remain. The championship is going down as well. We cannot wait to see what happens in the final few races of F8 here in PSGL. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel to see more content on PSGL. Also, if you would, please subscribe to me. Formula Jonah is the YouTube channel as well, if you guys want to go do that. Like this video if you enjoyed it. That would be hugely appreciated to me and to all of PSGL as well. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Formula Jonah. That was the racing of the Brazilian Grand Prix of round 10 of PSGL. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.